All right, let's dive right in. If you're an athlete, fasting during Ramadan brings up a huge challenge, right? How do you keep performing at your peak when you can't hydrate? If you get this wrong, it doesn't matter how good your training or nutrition is, it all falls apart. So today, we are breaking down the exact hydration protocol you need to not just survive, but thrive.
Okay, let's start with the one number that changes everything. And I'm not kidding. A tiny 2% drop in body weight from water leads to a massive 20% hit to your performance. We're not talking about a small dip here. For an athlete, that is literally the difference between smashing a personal best and having an absolutely terrible day.
I really want this number to sink in. Negative 20%. This isn't some made-up number. It's the cold, hard, physiological truth of what happens when your body is even a little bit low on water. It's a non-negotiable performance killer. And during Ramadan, this is enemy number one.
Now, this isn't just about feeling a little thirsty. Not at all. Dehydration kicks off this whole chain reaction of bad things in your body. So let's break down exactly what's happening step by step as that water loss creeps up.
Just look at how fast things go downhill. At just 1 to 2% water loss, that's right when you first start to feel thirsty, you've already lost up to 20% of your performance. You're already behind. The real danger zone for an athlete, though, is that 3 to 4% mark. At this point, your blood actually gets thicker, your heart has to pump way harder, and your strength just nosedives.
So we get it. The danger is real. Now, what's the solution? Well, it all starts with knowing your numbers. Let's figure out exactly how much water you personally need to get back in your system during that short window you have at night. This really puts the scale of the challenge into perspective. On a regular day, your body loses around 2.5 to 4 liters of water just existing. Now you throw in an intense hour of training and boom, you're sweating out another 1 to 2 liters. That means you've got this huge deficit of anywhere from 3.5 to 6 liters that you have to replace in just 8 to 10 hours.
So how do you find your magic number? It's actually really simple. Just take your weight in kilograms and multiply it by the factor that best fits you. So a really active 75-kilo athlete training in a hot climate needs a baseline of 3.8 liters. Then, and this is so important, you have to add another 1 to 2 liters on top of that to make up for what you lost during your workout. Okay, you've got your target volume, but here's the secret, and this is a real game changer. Drinking 5 liters the wrong way is actually worse than drinking 3 liters strategically. The key takeaway is that when you drink is so much more important than the total amount. This is the heart of the whole protocol.
Our entire strategy is built on 4 simple rules of how your body works. Rule 1. Your stomach has a speed limit. If you chug a liter of water, guess what? You're just going to pee most of it out. Rule 2. You absolutely need electrolytes to pull water into your cells. Rule 3. A bit of a pro tip, cool water actually gets absorbed faster. And Rule 4. Spacing it out is the only way to truly deeply hydrate.
And here it is. This is the master plan that puts all those rules into practice. We just break the night into 5 clear phases, from iftar when you break your fast, all the way to suhoor before dawn. This timeline turns that intimidating task of drinking 4 or 5 liters into a simple, totally manageable roadmap.
A great plan needs the right tools, right? Just drinking plain water is not going to cut it. Let's look at the 2 crucial allies that make this whole protocol work: electrolytes and, you guessed it, hydrating foods.
So why are we making such a big deal about electrolytes? Well, just look at the difference. If you only drink pure water, your body has a really hard time holding on to it. You can actually flush out essential minerals, especially sodium. But when you add electrolytes, that water gets pulled right into your cells, making sure you actually use what you drink. For an athlete, this is completely non-negotiable.
And you don't need to go out and buy expensive supplements for this. Seriously, here's a super simple and crazy effective recipe for a homemade electrolyte drink. You just need a liter of water, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt for sodium, the juice of a lemon for potassium, and a little honey for some quick energy. This is your secret weapon for rehydrating.
And don't forget, you can also eat your water. I know it sounds a little weird, but up to 30% of your hydration can come from the foods you choose. Things like watermelon, cucumber, tomatoes, or even having a good soup for your iftar and suhoor meals. It's a really powerful way to boost your fluid intake.
Okay, so you know what to do, but it's just as important, maybe even more important, to know what not to do. Let's quickly go over the common mistakes that can completely undo all of your hard work.
These are the classic traps to avoid. First, stay away from diuretics, like coffee, especially near your pre-dawn meal. They just make you lose water. Second, don't chug huge amounts of water all at once. Your body just can't absorb it. Third, never, ever wait until you're thirsty to drink. Thirst is a late signal that you're already dehydrated. And fourth, don't forget your electrolytes. Otherwise, the water just passes right through you. Avoiding these is half the battle, I promise.
All right, we've gone through the science, the strategy, and the things to avoid. Let's pull this all together into one final, actionable checklist you can use every single night of Ramadan.
This is it, your 7-point plan for perfect hydration. 1. Calculate your personal needs. 2. Follow the timed protocol. 3. Add electrolytes. 4. Make suhoor your biggest hydration opportunity. 5. Eat your water. 6. Test yourself every morning by checking your weight and urine color. And finally, 7. Adjust your plan based on what your body is telling you. You follow this, you'll stay hydrated and perform at your best. It's that simple.
So, with this strategy, your hydration is now completely under control. You've got this. But that only solves half of the energy equation, doesn't it? And that brings up the next critical question. What exactly should you be eating for suhoor to fuel your body for the entire fasting day? We'll tackle that next time.